Hello and welcome to Class 9th Subject English Book Moments, chapter 8. A House is Not a Home, part-1st. As you can see the title of the story, students, a house is not a home. So, don't you think a house and a word home is similar to each other? It is similar. The difference the narrator wants to make you understand is that a house is the place or a building which is made up of raw materials, cement, bricks, rods, etc. And two or five people are living there. But a home is a place where a family is living with all the emotions and sharing all their problems plus their sorrows, their joys, happiness, everything is shared and they used to share with each other. So such type of place is called home according to Zan uh, Gyadioso. The story deals with the challenges and problems of growing up. Life is, after all, not a pure bed of roses. It has its little pinpricks and big disasters. Only a small number of lucky teenagers grow in peace and prosperity. The rest face so many threats and hardships. The author first describes how problems wreck his life, take away all his sense of security. The story of his ruin started on a Sunday afternoon when his house went up in the flames. He lost his books and backpack. He also lost his checkbook, his shoes, and even his dear cat. His loss was heartbreaking. He lost the will to cope with his problems. But his hard times did not last long. His schoolmates, his grandfather, and a lady made his life worth living once again. He got his new house built and also recovered his lost cat. Life became normal. He got new friends at his new school. His cat was back, and so was he. So, this all was the introduction of this chapter and what we are going to study in it. Now, let's have line by line reading and explanation of the things. My first year, high school felt awkward after leaving junior high at the head of my class with all the seniority the upper grade levels could afford me. It felt strange starting over as a freshman. The school was twice as big as my old school, and to make matters worse, my closest friends were sent to a different high school. I felt very isolated. Here, awkward means students embarrassing, difficulty, or foolishness. Seniority means senior status. Afford means give. Isolated means alone. So, in the first paragraph, it is said that the narrator felt very awkward. He felt very embarrassing and difficult to face the new school. By leaving the junior high school, he started with the new school, that is when he got the seniority of the upper grade levels, and he that place could not afford him. He was feeling very strange. I was starting as a freshman in that school. The school was twice big from the previous school in which he was previously studying in that. So the new school was bigger than that, and the worst matter was that when he left his friends, means no friend was with him in his new school. For him everything was new. No friends were there, new schools were there, new teachers were there. So the main thing was this also, why he was feeling awkward. His friends had joined the new school, another school, and he was isolated over there. Isolated means all alone. In the next para, I missed my old teachers so much that I would go back and visit them. They would encourage me to get involved in school's activities and so that I could meet new people. They told me that in time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school more than I had my old one. So here I is the narrator who is saying that he used to miss his old teachers very much, and sometime randomly he moved to them and visit to their places for taking their blessings. They would encourage the narrator that he will day by day or soon he will cope up with the new school. He will accept the things when he'll start accepting. This was things by which the old teachers encouraged him to start up with the new school. They told me that in time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school. Means they also suggest him that probably here means perhaps. uh, Means day by day he will starting compromising with the things, and after that he'll take the habit of being there and loving that school too, as he was loving the previous school. More than that, he will love to the new school. So this all the things were suggested to the narrator by his old teachers in the way of motivation. They made me promise that when that happened, I would still come by and visit them from time to time. I understood the psychology in what they were saying, but I took some comfort in it nonetheless. So the old teachers used to take promises from the narrator that whenever he will start up with a new school by forgetting all the things, then also he should come to the teachers and meet them. He will not forget his old teachers. Teachers used to take promise from him. But on the other hand, the narrator was understanding why these teachers are saying such type of thing. He knew the psychology of saying all this because he was also knowing all this was said to him by the old teachers because they were motivating him, and they were just making him relax and suggesting him to start with the new school. One Sunday afternoon, not long after I had started high school, I was sitting at home at our dining room table doing homework. It was a cold and windy fall day, and we had a fire going in our fireplace. As usual, my red tabby cat was laying on the top of my papers, pu- uh, purring loudly and occasionally swatting at my pen for entertainment's sake. So, as you can see in the picture, student, how a cat of fur it is, and how it is sitting on the papers of the narrator and taking the pen of him. Okay, so like this, as she is a pet cat, so she used to disturb or used to be with the narrator all the time. And he is saying that that was the Sunday afternoon when he was sitting for doing his homework of the new school or completing the copies, you can say. It's not many days happened uh, to start his new school, and he was sitting at his dining table doing his homework. It was a very cold and windy fall day, so because of that they have uh, burned fire in the fireplace. And usually what happened when he used to study at his dining table, the cat used to sit or lie on his papers, purring loudly, means making some noise, and occasionally swatting on his pen for just of entertainment's sake. She was never far from me. I had rescued her when she was a kitten, and somehow she knew that I was the one responsible for giving her a good life. So the narrator is saying that that cat never used to be far away from him. He has taken he is he the narrator has kept that cat from the time when he was a little cat, a kitten, okay, a baby cat. And somehow that cat was also knowing that the narrator is only responsible for the such type of luxurious life and of her. That is why she loved narrator. My mother kept stoking the fire to keep the house nice and warm. Suddenly I smelled something strange, and then I noticed it. Smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. So, as students, what happened? Like, mother, it was a windy day, it was a cold day. That is why mother used to keep up the fire by putting more and more stokings in it, in that. Suddenly, what happened? Narrator was sitting in that dining table and doing his homework, and when a smell come, which was a strange smell, then he noticed that smoke was pouring in all the room throughout the ceiling. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. Means the room was totally filled by that smoke, and they cannot do anything because it was very fast to pour all the room, and it was not visible also. Groping our way to the front door, we all ran out into the front yard. By the time we made our way outside, the whole roof was engulfed in flames and it was spreading quickly. I ran to the neighbors to call the fire department while I watched my mother run back into the house. So, stoking means tending or poking. Pouring on means coming. Seams means joint. Groping means looking for. Made a way means went towards the door. Engulfed means covered, went up. So what happened? The narrator noticed that all the house was filled with smoke, so they decided to run out from the house. And when they were running out of the house, the and standing there, the narrator noticed that the whole house was gulfed in the flames, in the fire, and it was spreading quickly. So he ran towards his neighbor's house for calling them for a call of for a call to the fire department so that they can come. When he watched back, what he noticed that his mother was running back in that house which had already uh, started burning. My mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents. She dropped the case on the lawn and, in a crazed state, ran back into the house. I knew what she was after. My father had died when I was young, and I was certain that she was not going to let his pictures and letters go up in flames. They were the only things that she had to remember him by. Still, I screamed at her, "Mom, no." So, in this stanza, which is very heart touching, students, that his mother, when he saw his mother, that she is going back in that burning house, he was a little bit in frightened, and when he saw again that she is coming out with a metal box, small metal box which was filled with important documents. She dropped the case in the lawn, means that metal box, she just dropped it in that lawn, and in a crazy manner she was searching for something in that box, and ran back into the house, and again she ran back into the house. And the narrator was knowing that for what she was searching for. He was knowing that she was searching for his father's pictures. His father was not he was not more, means he was died when the narrator was very young. And it was obvious that mother cannot let the pictures go in that fire. The letters, what she has saved from many years. So the narrator was knowing that it was certain that she was not going to let the pictures and the letters to go in the burn in the flames. They were the only things which was there in the narrator's mother's life, because of which she is alive till yet. So, after all, then also he was screaming for his mother that she should not go inside the burning house. I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand hold me back. It was a fireman. I had not even noticed that the street had already filled with fire trucks. I was trying to free myself from his grasp, yelling, "You don't understand, my mother's in there." He held on to me while others firefighters ran into the house. He knew that I wasn't acting very logically and that if he were to let go, I had run. He was right. "It's all right. They will get her," he said. So what happened? As the mother was again gone back, went back in that house for searching for the father's pictures and letters. He was screaming for his mother, "Mom, mom!" And then fire brigade has just arrived there. The trucks were full, means that when he noticed the street was already filled with the fire trucks. The narrator was trying to free himself so that he can call his mother. So the fire persons, the people who catch him and grab him, and he was yelling that just leave him. Yelling means shouting, grab means hold. He was shouting that just leave him so that he can call his mother. Okay, so what happened? He was trying to grasp, means the people was were trying to grasp him, but he was yelling that he want to save his mother was inside the house. So he was scolding them or shouting on them that you don't understand, my mother is in there. So in that manner he was replying to the firemen that could they don't understand that his mother is inside the burning house and he want to take her back. He held on to me while others firefighters ran into the house. Means some firefighters have holded him, the boy, and some had gone inside the house to take his mother. He knew that I wasn't acting very logically, and that if he were to that if he were to let go, I had run. Means the firemen were not leaving him us for a single second, because they were knowing if they leave the child, the narrator, he will run inside the house for saving his mother. He was right. "It is all right. They will get her," he said. Means the person who had holded the narrator, he was making him realize that all right, they are fine. They'll save his mother. So he just don't worry about his mother. They will just take him right now. He wrapped a blanket around me and sat me down in our car. Soon after that, a fireman emerged from our house with my mom in tow. So what happened? What the fireman had done, that they have wrapped the boy in a a blanket, you can say. Okay. And make him sit over there on the down in the car. Okay. And after some time, what happened, a fireman emerged from the house inside. Emerged means came out. Okay, emerged means came out from the house. In term means dragging or pulling. So they by dragging manner, they just take out his mother from the house, and he quickly took her over the truck and pulled an oxygen mask on her. I ran over and hugged her. All those times I ever argued with her and hated her vanished at at the thoughts of losing her. So in this paragraph, it is the narrator is saying that when he saw his mother, he just ran towards her and just hugged her. Hugged her means embraced her. Uh, and what the firemen have done, that they have given mask to her, oxygen mask to her, and make her sit in the truck of the patient's truck what they are having. Then at that moment, the narrator ran towards her mother and hugged her. All the thoughts what the narrator used to argue with his mother, what all or the things for what he used to hate his mother, all the things were vanished means disappear. And he was just frightened. He was just got a that fear of losing his mother. "She's going to be okay," said the fireman. She just inhaled a little smoke, and then he ran back to fight the fire while my mother and I sat there dazed. I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. So, here the fireman was motivating them or giving peace to them that everything is fine. She has to them means to the narrator that she is fine. She has inhaled, she has taken air inside, air, the smoke inside. Okay, a little smoke is gone inside the body of the lady. So after a minute she will be fine and okay. And after saying this much, the fireman again gone back to the fireplace and for the uh, putting off the fire. Okay, and the mother and the narrator was sitting over there, dazing over there. He was I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. Means the narrator is remembering that moment, that when his house was burning, he could not do anything with that. He was just watching it burning. He was feeling very helpless when his house was burning down. 5 hours later, the fire was finally out. Our house was almost completely burned down. But then it struck me. I had not seen my cat. Where was my cat? Much to my horror, I realized that she was now here, to be found. Then all at once it hit me. The new school, the fire, my cat. I broke down in tears and cried and cried. I was suffering loss big time. So, what happened? In 5 hours, the house was totally burnt, the fire was totally out, and the house was almost or completely, you can say, it was burnt, nothing was left. And when that moment came, he got in mind that where is his cat. Then one horror, one fear came in his mind, that may or might cat be inside and she also have burnt in that. So she was very sad and upset just because of that fear, that she has lost his that he has lost his cat. he has lost his house in that fire and new school. Everything means his you can say his world is totally or completely covered with problems only. Means he was already suffering from the from that new school. He was not able to cope up with that new school, and on the other hand this fire was there, and after that he has lost his cat too. So he broke down into tears. He cried lot, and he was suffering from a big loss, a big time. Then the firemen would not let us go back into the house that night. It was still too dangerous, dead or alive. I couldn't imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Regardless, I had to go. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and a few of the firemen's blankets and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. So what happened? The house was totally burnt, and when he got to recall his cat, then what happened? He just want to know that where the cat is. He was again going in that house or trying to go in that for knowing that where the cat is. He can't be so regardless about his cat. Regardless means not caring for. A horror means fear. So they were sitting in a dazed manner. Dazed means confusion. A stupefied manner. Everything that fear was stuck in his mind. Stuck means came to my mind that where is the cat. This horror came in his mind. The fear of losing his cat, and regardlessly how he can be so regardless, so careless, and he want to go into the house again and want to know where his cat was. Then what happened? The men's were there only, and they piled them into the car with just few clothes on their back and few blankets what the fire brigade has given to them, and made their way to the narrator's grand parents house, and so that they will spend their night over there only. The new day, the next day, Monday, I went to school when the fire broke out. I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning, but I had no shoes. I had kicked them off when I was doing my homework. They become yet another casualty of the fire. So I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. Why couldn't not? Why couldn't I just stay home from school? My mother wouldn't hear of it, but I was totally embarrassed by everything. The clothes were was the clothes I was wearing looked weird. I had no books or homework, and my backpack was gone. I had my life in that backpack. The more I tried to fit in, the worse it got. So, very difficult situation here. The narrator was facing that he has lost his school in one sense, or friends, you can say. Okay, new school he has got. Now, what happened? The house was broke out in the fire, so he was not having anything related to the school, means the homework, the dress, a proper dress, or the mind setup also, you can say. No homework he has done. So he was as the fire was broke up on Sunday, so he was doing his homework in the church dress only. It is of white color. When he was doing his homework on by sitting on the dining table, he just kicked out his shoes over there. So he was not having shoes also, so he asked the shoes from his grandmother. She has given some tennis shoes to him for wearing. From his aunt, he asked from, and she has given tennis shoes to him to wear. why couldn't so he was thinking that everything was very awkward to for him to go with, and on the another I was thinking that such a casualty had happened with him. He is not having homework, he is not having proper dress, he was not having mind set up, total life you can say, because a student's life is all around the backpack only, according to the statement what it is written here, that the clothes I was wearing looked weird. I had no books or homeworks, and my backpack was gone. I had my life in that backpack. So this is the very good line, that the student life is all around in the backpack only. So that only he had lost in that fire. So he was feeling very embarrassed, and he's thinking that why couldn't he be away or stay away from that school. So as much he was trying to fit in the situation was becoming more worse and worse. So I hope students you have understood this much. This is the half part of the story which was full of sorrow and sadness, and it was an situation. Now after this, the narrator is going to struggle with the things what he has already faced. Okay, so I hope this much you have understood. Any doubts are there, so you can ask through the comment box. Thank